Hey everybody, Scoutcrafter here again. A member of our group, Caleb, had said the other day that he was missing a good old pipe wrench restoration, and I happen to have a really nice one sitting around waiting to be done. So let's get started. It's a really good one, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, today's project is this sweet little giant 10-inch model. It's patented, I believe it's 1913. It's hard to read there, but and you can see it's made from Greenfield, Massachusetts. And these were great little wrenches. You could see here, I don't want to show you a dirty wrench. So first thing we're going to do is, of course, we got to remove this paint. We're going to do that with paint stripper. Afterwards, we'll hit it with the wire brush, and we'll come back for our post wire brush evaluation. It's going to be a fun project. Now when you're wire brushing, if you're going to use that knurled ring, and make sure you put it onto something, because it's very hard to hold that knurled ring when you're dealing with the wire brush. So here we put it onto an old fueling key that I had, but anything will work. Okay, here we are at our post wire brush evaluation. You can see everything. We got all the paint off, and there was some original orange paint underneath that silver paint. So this was orange, and we'll do it in the same color. And there you can see the date, February 4th, 1913. You can see that these are casting marks in there, but hopefully the paint will cover a lot of that up. Now, in here, there's no way you can get, my wire brush is too big to get in there. So you have to use a Dremel tool. And if you don't have a Dremel tool, it's a really good investment. This one I got is a variable speed. However, if you don't have a variable speed, you can get the pedal control or variable speed. It really helps a lot because these things spin at like 10, well, so you can see this is 5 to 30,000 RPM. If they're spinning at 30,000 RPM, it's very difficult to control a lot of operations. So a variable speed is a really good thing to have. You can have it in all different types. Now, we want to get inside this knurled nut here to get the rust out of any of there. I use these expanding wire brushes. When they spin, they will expand. And let me just give you a quick example of how that works. Watch the brush here, and as it spins, it opens up. Now, what I like to do is, obviously I don't have a brush to fit so small in there, but I will put this in here like this, then into the chuck like this, tighten it up, and then what I'll do is I'll pull this through as it opens up. And again, you don't spin it super fast because I got the variable speed. And just pull it through like this. And you can see it's slowing down because it's in there. But when you pull it through, you'll have that cleaned out as far as the rust goes. And you could do the same thing in here. But again, if you just work it through here, just gently, you can get all the rust that's in there out. Now, as you use these brushes, they will deform a little bit. That's just the nature of the beast, and you have to be leery of that in the wear. Now, another area is here. If you look, a lot of times in plumbing wrenches, especially in the jaws and stuff, you'll see the plumbing compound, that gray plumbing compound that you see here. And these dental tools, or you can sharpen a nail down or whatever you have to, but you can see that makes great, it's very easy to get that gunk out of the jaws by doing it this way. So you know, you're going to need something sharp, and you see that that's that gray plumbing dope that they use. It's usually in all these plumbing wrenches. You got the wire brush won't take it out. It's just too, you know, thick. So you scrape it out like this. Once you have most of it scraped out, you can go over it again with the wire brush. I'll take it out. Okay, we're over at the belt sander. I got to get this. This has a lot of deep dents and dings on there. So I have a fresh, brand new 60 grit belt on here. Okay, so normally I don't like to do it. It leaves deep scratches in, but I have to get these dents out. I'm going to use that, and then I'll work my way down. I will not touch any of this. That's smooth enough. I can hit that with like a 220 and up belt, 220, 400, things like that. But right now I need a coarse belt to get rid of this. On these small belt sanders, when you're using a coarse belt, let the grit do the work. Don't push too hard. Now, you see what we did? We took out most of those dings and dents. We have a couple, but I'm not going to go that deep on here. I'll leave those in there. But we took out most of those heavy dings and dents. But you see there's fine scratches in there. You see that? Now that's where the finer belts come in. So now I'm going to go to a belt like a 220. I'll go over it real quick and show you what it looks like. Now with the finer belts, you can add a little bit more pressure. Okay, now you can see I was going at a kind of an angle instead of straight across because I want to get rid of a lot of those straight up and down scratch. But you see here, the scratches are a lot more fine. Now if I go to one more fine belt, I can make this almost like into a polished, and I saved that to last because now I still have to do the rest of this, but I'll finish off with a fine belt and that'll look almost polished. Well, we did a quick buffing job. After that, we taped the wrench up and we gave it a good heavy coat of the original orange color that was normally on there. And then we did the lettering with a Sharpie chisel tip marker. And you remember my favorite part. Remember what it looked like before we started. Okay, we are calling this wrench done. And a couple interesting things about this. If you wondered if there was a misprint in the title, the little giant, it wasn't, because this is a companion to the bigger brother that we did in a previous restoration. You could see same year, patent year, 1913. This one's a little giant 14, and obviously this one here is the 10-inch. Now if there's a 8-inch out there that I come across, that'll be the littlest little giant. But couple interesting things I want to point out about this wrench. The restoration came out nice as expected. You know, these do clean up nice, but and we did the lettering on both sides, and was able to get this nice, you know, so it's you know, there's always something you won't be able to get out, but overall it came out really nice. Let me show you what one of the concerns that I found, and I had to look it up on the computer. Here are the three parts of the wrench, and what I did find interesting is when I was restoring it that I noticed here, it looks like this was abruptly cut off at the bottom. It says Little Giant 1, it should say 10, and on the other side it says Greenfield, Massachusetts, US, and it should say USA. So when I went online and I looked at my other wrench, you could see there's a border that comes across here. I believe that at one time this wrench was snapped at some point, and which I find really unusual because the jaws are almost pristine and really good shape, both on the stationary and on the jaw that moves. So I didn't think that it would be damaged that way, but it definitely is a flaw here. So I'll keep an eye out for another movable jaw that I can replace this with. That's easy enough, but that is something that if you're looking to buy a wrench, that's one of the things you'll look at, you know, other than the teeth being in good shape, because that's always more difficult, and also, you know, if it's bent or anything like that. Now the wrench does operate very nicely, especially when you polish the threads and things like that. Very smooth, good operation. Overall, it is an interesting wrench. The only difference is between the 10-inch and the 14-inch. You notice the 14-inch has the teeth on the back ramp here on both sides, whereas this 10-inch model doesn't, just has a ramp that goes back here. I don't know if all 10-inch models were like that, but this one isn't. And that's the original color green, orange that came on the wrench when it was new. All right, the reason we like these little setups is because there's nothing like companion wrench sets, you know, when you have small, medium, large. I mean, for collectors, that's a big thing. I'll give you another example. We did this little cute little vise restoration a while ago. Well, I was able to get that one, and then I was able to get that one. So we always like, you know, sets that have ascending or descending sizes. Anyway, that's it for the restoration. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for tuning in. Take care and have a nice day.